I didn't rush to gather my belongings or make a scene on my way out. There was no emotional letter left behind, stained with tears or filled with goodbyes. I just faded away, quiet and unnoticed, like a shadow retreating from a place it no longer belonged. I suspect that quiet exit is what still haunts her memory the most. We spent 5 years together. For the first 3, I truly believed we were creating something solid, something that could withstand the highs and lows, the arguments, and the monotony of daily life. But the thing about cracks is, you rarely notice them until everything falls apart. Her name was Elise. She had a quick wit and a natural charm that made people gravitate toward her. She had a way of making you feel like you'd known her your whole life. I wasn't immune to it. Falling deeply for her was my first misstep. Our paths crossed through mutual friends. What began as a casual coffee meetup quickly turned into extended dinners, then weekends we spent wrapped up in each other. Within a year, we were living together. Our routines, our lives, slowly blending into one. She used to tell me, "You're the only one who lets me be myself, even the messy parts." I took those words as proof of our closeness, a sign that what we had was real. Looking back, I see now, they were more of a red flag than a reassurance. A warning she didn't even realize she was giving. The shift didn't happen all at once. It crept in quietly. She started working later than usual. Took certain phone calls in hushed tones behind closed doors. A new coworker's name started coming up a little too frequently in conversation. I didn't want to seem insecure, so I accepted her explanations. I ignored that sinking feeling in my chest and gave her space. Then everything shattered. She had left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping. It lit up as I walked past. What I saw stopped me cold. There wasn't one message that said it all, but a trail of them painted a clear, painful picture. Shared jokes I'd never heard. Pet names that didn't belong to me. Mentions of places and moments I'd never been part of. And then there was one message that cut deeper than the rest. "Last night meant everything. I can't stop thinking about you." In that instant, 5 years of trust unraveled. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse her. I didn't even cry. I simply closed the laptop, sat at the edge of the bed, and stared blankly at the wall. Numb. She came home not long after, humming to herself, completely unaware that everything had changed. I said nothing. That night, I lay beside her, listening to the steady rhythm of her breath in the dark, my thoughts spiraling. I wondered how many nights she had come home from someone else's arms and slipped into mine like nothing was wrong. The next morning, I went through the motions, followed our usual routine, kissed her on the forehead, left the house for work. And I never went back. I packed only what I needed, just a small bag with the basics. I let the lease expire without saying a word. I changed my number and informed my boss I'd be working remotely for a while. There was no dramatic farewell, no heated exchange. I removed myself from her world with a silence I knew would echo louder than any shouting match ever could. For the next few months, I stayed in a modest Airbnb in a nearby town. Just one room, a simple mattress on the floor, no decorations, no personal touches. It was exactly what I needed, a blank space with no reminders of her, no memories clinging to the walls, no false comfort tied to our shared past. I buried myself in work, started seeing a therapist, and began running every day to clear my head. Slowly, the storm inside me began to quiet. For the first time in years, I wasn't trying to meet someone else's expectations. I was simply living, for me. Then, 6 months later, on a completely ordinary Tuesday, I saw her again. There was no dramatic movie-style reunion. No tears in the rain. Just Elise, standing beside her car outside the co-working space where I'd been renting a desk. The air was brisk, the street alive with the hum of traffic. She looked different, more worn down, a little less put together. Her smile was uncertain, almost shy. "Hey," she said, her voice low and trembling. I didn't respond. I just met her gaze. I know you don't want to see me, she continued, her tone fragile. But I've been looking for you for months. I stayed quiet, arms crossed. I didn't think you'd just disappear, she said, and there was a flicker of blame in her voice. I thought you'd at least say something. You betrayed me, I replied, my voice even and steady. And I was supposed to give you a goodbye? Her eyes dropped to the pavement. I know I deserved worse, she said, her voice cracking. I ended it. That other thing. A week after you left. I haven't felt like myself since. I've been in therapy, trying to understand how I managed to destroy the best thing that ever happened to me. For a moment, I saw the woman I used to love. A flicker of that old tenderness rose up in me, the urge to ask how she was doing, if she was okay. But the feeling didn't last. I didn't leave because of one mistake, I told her. I left because you kept lying. Again and again. You made a choice, and you stuck with it. She gave a slow nod, her lips pressed together. I'm not asking you to forgive me, she said. I just miss you. I miss how we used to laugh. The way you held me like I mattered. No one's ever made me feel that way since. I let out a long breath. That's because what I gave you was real, I said. And you chose something fake. Her voice trembled as she looked at me. Is there any part of you that still loves me? I hesitated. Did I still love her? Maybe once. Maybe the version of me who didn't know better did. But that man no longer existed. I think I loved who I thought you were, I said. But that person wasn't real. And the man who believed your lies, he's gone too. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She just stood there in that ordinary parking lot as the light dimmed and softly said, Okay. I had to try. I watched her walk back to her car. No drama, no breakdown. Just the heavy silence that comes with facing the truth. That was the last time I saw her, and I didn't need to see her again. Leaving without a word wasn't weakness. It was me choosing myself. Finally.